Woo! John Stringer, you matter. Bronker Lee, you matter. We can all go home, because if we could just give you the gift and say, everybody in this room, you matter. You bring something uniquely you to the planet, and don't let it die. Don't let the song die. I have to tell you that I was a bit intimidated when I heard that the president of the National Speakers Bureau, I wasn't too sure about my talk today, and I said, oh man, I better go give a better talk. And then he gets up and he beatboxes. I tried beatboxing once. It sounded like a perpetual fart. I want to tell you about the event that these two gentlemen are involved in. John Stringer and Bronker Lee, along with the incredible Don Simmons, who we all know and love, and a rock star at Unity North, Rainey Suggs, along with a host of really talented, conscious, beautiful people and sound practitioners, are producing a one-day transformational event with energetic speakers, live music, guided meditations, interactive sessions unlike anything you've ever experienced, except our Sunday service. It's called the Set Your Tone Summit, and it's going to be held on October 6th at one of my favorite places in Atlanta, and that is the City of Light. Reverend Paul Gretz is a transformer in his community, and that space is ripe for exactly what you guys are creating. John, Bronker, and Rainey will be at the back table after service to tell you more about it, and we'll be giving away a pair of tickets. You want to go out back there and get your name on the list, get involved, get engaged, and maybe get a couple of tickets. And also, John's got a moment-to-moment CD that was recorded at one of the best places to record a CD here at Unity North. And he's got that CD in the back table as well. Please go see him, support all of those efforts. Take a deep breath with me. Let's put the scripture up there. Our master teacher, our way shower, the elder brother, he's known by 1,000 different names. I like master teacher. This is what he said. Let's read it together. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. This is from his most transformational teaching, the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes. And this has brought me a lot of comfort. It's brought me a lot of hope that the works that I'm doing are absolutely transforming the planet. That the day I get up and try to be a peacemaker, that something good is going to happen. But for too long, the religious community has taken that and used it as a means of saying, well, if you do good works, then you will be considered a child of God. If you act appropriately, if you act in the ways that we say that you should act, then you're going to be called the children of God. And at Unity, I like to just flip that whole scripture around the other direction. Because you were born a child of God. You were born perfect, whole, and complete, intrinsically connected to a divine energy so profound that you can never be disconnected from it. And so when you flip it around, blessed are the children of God because they organically and naturally act from a place of peace. They live their lives from the context of peace. So blessed are you as children of God because when you dip into that infinite pool of who you truly are at the essence, at the soul of your being, you will be peaceful. Of course, we're all here living 24/7 in peace, yes? I watched the news last night. It took all of 3 minutes to lose that peace. So what happens when you lose your peace? It's a clear indication you have lost the connection. You have lost the awareness. You have lost that moment between the ears, the laboratory of your very life, and hear that you are a child of God. Momentarily, the peace is gone. So blessed are you that you remember the truth, that you have a practice, a regular practice of going within and remembering that God's got this. God's got this as me, not just around me, not just through me, but as me. You are a cell in the living presence of God. You cannot be disconnected. I needed to know that. I just got back from a sabbatical. And on that sabbatical, I had to go find that my acts were not going to be the source of my peace. I'm pretty darn good, and you're all pretty darn good at creating peace in the world, in communities, at work, in church. Sometimes we need you more than others. But you're not more valuable because you're a peacemaker. You are valuable because you're a child of God. And I needed to go away for a month and to learn that. That just my being, my essence, my vibration, my frequency was enough. beyond the doing, beyond the failings, beyond the mistakes. And I sang a little song that accompanied me because I needed to be reminded regularly as I did over 4,700 miles of driving. You know, behind the wheel of a car in Atlanta is a little bit different than behind the wheel in Canada, where there's no cars for 15,000 miles in the middle of nowhere. And it's a little bluegrass song. It's a simple little ditty, and there's a part for each of you to sing. I'm not much of an ukulele player. I'll do my best. But your words are, that's where I belong. Say that with me. That's where I belong. That peace that Jesus is talking about, that's where you belong. And the song goes like this. Show me the place where I don't have to hurry. That's where I belong. Show me the place where I don't have to worry. That's where I belong. And give me the time so I can change my mind. And it won't matter if I'm wrong. Did you hear that? It won't matter if I'm wrong. Show me the place where I don't have to worry. That's where I belong. I can't hear ya. That's where I belong. You got one more. That's where I belong. That's where you belong. That's where you were created. You're in the image and after the likeness of perfection and peace and harmony and joy and love, not anxiety, not stress. And I had to go away for a month to remember that. It wasn't the most pleasant the month before to live with, to be with. Just ask my staff, they will tell you. And I had to discover a radical peace, not your everyday, momentary, circumstantial, I've got peace, I feel good, I feel happy, everything's good. No, a state of being, an energetic state of being with the prayer, the peace, the meditation is a constant and not driven by an event. Not driven by a moment of prayer or a moment of meditation. It became who I was. That's radical because it's not connected to the circumstances. How many people have found your peace attached in moments to what was going on out here? When that happens, it's a clear indication that you have forgotten, blessed are the children of God. Blessed is the child of God because I will be peaceful. And so many people are worried about saving the world. We watch the news and we've got political stuff going on. We're worried about the country. We're worried about the world. We're worried about the earth. And that worry is being infused into our acts to create peace. Lao Tzu, the founder of the Taoist religion, clearly told us that there's going to be peace on the planet. It's got to start here. We sing it almost every Sunday. Let there be peace on earth. And what? Let it begin with me. But we're driving around, guilty as charged, anxiety, stress, and worry, going, come on, can't we all just frickin' get along? We're consumed with the anxiety that is absolutely counter to the energy we want to create. We need to go home and remember I am a child of God. But here's what radical is. Here's my definition. Last week we talked about radical joy. It still works. Let's read this together. A far-reaching and thorough change or action relating to the fundamental nature of something, characterized by a departure from. So, first and foremost, peace is your fundamental state. It is your organic state. Secondly, it will only be reached as you wake up and remember that you have to let go of some bad habits. I had to come face to face with the habits that had been rehearsed month after month, year after year, that was getting in the way of the organic state. I had forgotten who I was. I was defining myself by what I did, not what I am. And that place can only be reached by confronting the traditional human habits that have kept peace from being present. And that action must be far-reaching, and it must be thorough. So it's not necessarily going to be comfortable. So there's the great paradox for the day. You're going to find the radical peace that you are by getting out of your comfort zone. That doesn't make any sense to the human mind, does it? It's the stupid little trite phrase, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. If you're not peaceful, do something different. And that means put your toe into the world of uncomfortable. Try something new. Try a new idea. Try a new thought. My friend Gaya Swenford and I met, and she talked about how We shop for our coats. You go to the store. You go to 10 stores, some of you, and you try a new coat on. And you see how it feels and how it fits. You don't like it, you put it back on the rack. Or maybe you take it home. You take that coat home, and after a couple of days of wearing it, this isn't me. This isn't me. This isn't mine. You take it back to the store, and you turn it in for a new one. What would it be like if we shopped for our thoughts that way? If we shopped for our experiences that way? No, this doesn't work for me. This thought is creating more tension. This thought is creating more anxiety. I feel very stressful. Let me take it out and put it back on the rack and find one that feels more peaceful. And the people who don't do that are just basically spiritually lazy. It's too hard to go put the coat back on the rack. No, it's not. Your life depends on it. Your very life and your experience of heaven on earth depends on your ability to shop for your thoughts, to shop for your experiences. And yes, go ahead and shop for your relationships. Everybody in this world is either an elevator button up or an elevator button down. Who are you hanging out with? I want the up buttons in my life. And that shift and that change is not going to be comfortable. I hate to tell you, my growth came in my uncomfortable zone, not my comfort zone. You know, a large percentage of religion is all about. If you look at it, you can boil all religion, all these great, wonderful teachers and masters and sages down to one thing. I want you to have peace. I want you to have heaven on earth. I want you to have the experience of connection to the divine. And we have so convoluted with the intellectual mind, religion, that the spirituality has been sucked out of it. Consider for just a moment that any religion that you've had, you're not recovering from it, but you're taking the essence of it, the essence of a desire for peace. You're bringing it with you. And you're coming into this place. And eventually, from this place, will not meet your needs. You'll go to a new place, and you'll take the energy of the people gathered here right now and a greater realization of peace. That's where I belong. That's where you belong. Find it, create it, live it, be it. And you will find a peace, as St. Paul says in the book of Philippians, a peace that passes understanding. You ever known those people that walked into a room of chaos and tension and argument, and they were just like floating? It's like, I want what they're having. I want what they're having. How can they not be affected by the circumstance? Because peace is relational to something greater. And guess what? Those people then become the transformation of the room. But in New Thought, so many times we've put it all backwards. I walk into the room with the idea I'm going to be a peacemaker, and I'm going to create transformation. And the reality is I need to come into the room and be a peace-beer. I transform myself before I can transform the room. There's not going to be peace on the planet till there's peace among our religions and peace in my heart. I take responsibility because it begins with me. And that means I need to take Sabbath on a regular basis, not when it's convenient. If your spirituality and your connection to God is about convenience, we have a problem here. You can't have a relationship. You ever try to have a relationship with a partner, a life partner, 20 minutes once in a while? I tell you one thing, it doesn't work for my wife. You can't do it, and you cannot have a relationship with the divine essence of your being when it is convenient, 20 minutes or an hour and a half on Sunday, and then you're back into being a human being. You are a spiritual being, and that relationship takes time. It takes energy. It takes Sabbath. So I don't have to go to Yellowstone National Park or Glacier National Park or Banff, Canada to find myself. I need to take the tool, come apart for a while, and remember I'm the same person there as I am here. Wherever you go, there you are. I am a child of God, and therefore peace will be my innate nature. And if I'm not living from that innate nature, guess who moved? I did. I did. You see, there's neural pathways. Our brain, when we practice the habits, we have to check out of the traditional habits, because the neural pathways that we were created in and as a being, the peaceful being that we are, begin to go dormant. They don't die. They're always there. They must be reawakened. And the only way you're going to reawaken peace in your life, reawaken the electrons that are going back and forth in your brain, is to check out for a minute. The master teacher said, come apart for a while. Come apart for a while. Get yourself some distance between the stress, your behavior, and the truth. Come apart for a while, or in a while you will be coming apart. My sabbatical came at the perfect time because I was coming apart. Thank God I have a community to help me recognize when my behavior is not matching the peacemaking intention. Thank God I have a group of people in my family that can remind me when my desire for peace on the planet is not matching the vibration at which I am operating. Don't take offense when somebody says you might want to get some help. Don't take offense when somebody says, are you going to take that sabbatical soon? Don't take offense when the board of directors says, I think you might need a rest. It is coming from a deep place of love, and it is the call of God. It is the call of the child of God within you that's saying, pay attention. Simply by paying attention, it becomes a portal to greater peace, and you notice things. So my sabbatical was my search for this peace that was defined not by anything except discovering that I am a child of God. I am a child of God. And so I wrote. The rest of this talk is going to be much more bullet points, less than a message. I took copious notes everywhere I went. Stopped the car. This is what radical peace is. This is what it is not. And I put those notes into my phone, and I'm going to share those notes, and I'm going to invite you to get out a piece of paper. I don't usually do this. Get out a piece of paper and a pen. Now, for those of you who have a problem with somebody telling you what to do, you might want to look at that. And these are just the notes from my phone. The place was I sang down the road, that's where I belong, that's where I belong. First, number one, radical peace is not the absence of chaos. Radical peace is not the absence of disturbance. It's not the absence of difficulty. It is a deep awareness of God. And we need to come face to face with the reality. Are the tools I'm using for peace in the way of me finding the peace? As I mentioned earlier, if your meditation practice is the only way you find peace, it's a hindrance. Use it to get to the other side so that you are walking. Every step becomes a meditation. Not just, I have to hold my hands a certain way, I have to sing a certain way and chant a certain affirmation. Great, use it, absolutely use it, but you have to transcend it, or you're in a stagnant environment that's not growing. Let your energy be raised to the state of being. Number two, radical peace lives on purpose and not by accident. Radical peace must be a mission-driven experience. I like to say it's the why of you're on the planet. Why are you in that skin, in that body, in that city, in that place, with that family, and that job? Why is way more important than the what. What do I do? Oh, warning, Will Robinson, radical peace is about to go away. You're not defined by what you do or how you do it. You may be very good at creating peace, and how you create peace is really beautiful. But it must have the context and the foundation of why am I on the planet? Why was I born? It's not an accident. You are not an accident. You're not having the experiences you're having by accident. Get in touch with your reason for being. I had to spend some time getting in touch with why Unity North was here, to recognize, to demonstrate, and to share the divinity of each of us. And so I needed to come back home and remind you, you're beautiful, you're fantastic, you're magnificent, you're an expression of worth and value and joy, and not, did you get the job done? Not good enough. Oh, man, that energy is going to create a certain circumstance. And the energy of looking around and beholding the face of God. You see, blessed are the children of God who can recognize the face of the children of God when they turn on the news. That's a hard one. I'm watching the news. Everywhere I look, I see the face of God. Please. When I look at that person who's driving me nuts and driving me crazy, the peacemaker, radical peace, says, I will see the face of God here. Underneath the behavior, underneath the disagreement, underneath it all, there's still the divine light that cannot and will not ever be taken away. Purpose is a portal to peace. Radical peace, number 3, refuses to play the victim. Anybody good at playing a victim? I've shared with you a number of times that I got a lot of my needs met on the planet at a very young age by being a victim. The nurturing I didn't get at home, I'd play a victim, and then the world would rush in to support me in my victim and stroke me and go, oh, yeah, you are such a victim, you're such a victim, you're poor you. And I was walking around with souvenirs of hell showing them to anybody who would look at them. Not a great place, a great way to find radical peace. Radical peace will not play the victim. So what would it be like if your life today, you were to make a commitment to never tell your victim story again? Never tell that victim story. You know which one it is, the way you were wronged, again. Oh, but don't just not say it out here. What if it left this field and you never said it again here? What if you were to know that I am a child of God, I cannot be victimized? And a basic unity tenet that says, nobody and nothing can take your good away from you. You can give it away. I've given it away. Let me get my army of people to support my victimhood. And here's my good. Here's my power. Let's just dance in my powerlessness. The reality is you were born with power. The ability to manifest, the ability to create. Don't give your power away. Don't be a victim, because no one and nothing is against you. If God is for you, what did Jesus say? Nothing. Nothing, not something, nothing can be against you. And if we're going to follow the master teacher, the elder brother, the great example, we need to know that. You can't take something from me, only I can give it. Releasing victimhood is a portal to peace. Number 4, radical peace focuses on the task at hand and not the 47 other things bouncing around the brain. Remember the movie Up? That dog, I love that dog. That was me. Squirrel. Squirrel. Don't you love those pictures? The board, is that a marmot, not a squirrel? I failed. All I know is I found those pictures and said, oh my God, the board of directors would say that's what Richard was like for 6 months. Ah! My hair has often looked like that one on the left. My beard is going to start looking like that too if I don't figure out how to manage it. But the reality is, I was standing on a mountain on my sabbatical, a beautiful, rich Canadian mountain with wildflowers. They were rampant. We hit it at the perfect season. And all I was doing, standing as my wife was beholding the flowers, was the 6 more mountains that were in front of us. And the concern and the worry about the fire that might be in Jasper, we're not going to get there. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of driving over 6 more mountains. This is overwhelming. I can't do this. It's impossible. Who made the better choice? Look at these beautiful flowers. They're magnificent. I needed somebody to remind me, hey, be in the moment. And quit worrying about the fire. And let me tell you, there are 470 out-of-control fires in British Columbia. Only once did those fires affect our vacation and our time. But only 470 times did it affect my consciousness, because I gave my power away to the fire on the 6th mountain as opposed to the flowers on the mountain that I was on. Soak that in for a minute. We in this country are rampant anxiety, stress junkies. We live in that. Got to get more done. Got to be better than the next guy. Competition is not going to be necessarily a portal to radical peace. You're going to get a lot done, but at what cost? Number 5, radical peace views everything as opportunity and not problems, blessings, not challenges. We know the truth. We teach it in unity. It's a basic principle. Energy follows focus. Energy follows attention. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and the kingdom's going to show up the way you are looking, the way you were listening. What are you paying attention to? Because God goes, okay, here you go. Here you go. That's what you want. All right, there it is. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. That is mindfulness. When I'm eating, I'm eating. When I'm drinking, I'm drinking. When I'm walking, I'm walking. When I'm silent, I'm silent. Number 6, radical peace is not based on history or future, but on presence. Not being present, but on presence itself. Now, I'm going to cross the line of blasphemy now. What if you were to just live your life from the context that I am the veritable presence of God? I am the veritable presence of God. Unity teaches that, and I won't dance around it. You're not all that God is, but you are a beautiful, magnificent part of that. And yet, so most people are worried about what happened 5 minutes ago, Or what's going to happen 5 minutes from now? What if you were to just, that thought you had about, when is he going to finish? That will come. If I was Dr. Barbara King, I'd just say church is done when church is done. But have no fear, we will end on time today. Radical peace is less concerned with what just happened and more concerned about what just happened informing my life. What is the lesson I got from it? Way less concerned about what just happened and how what just happened is a part of my spiritual existence and whether I was awake or not awake. How can I be the veritable presence of God in this moment? Because that's what you are. Number 7, radical peace is not based on your acceptance of me, but on my acceptance of myself. There's the growing edge. There's the growing edge. How would life be if you were to free yourself of the good opinion of others? The bad opinion of others? Any opinion of you by somebody else, what would your life look like? Well, let's go further. How would it look if you freed yourself of the acceptance of anybody? Whether you accept me or don't accept me, I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to be the living presence of God that I know myself to be because God approves of me, because God is expressing at the point of me. That self-acceptance becomes a portal. And if you want to go to a victim place real quickly, hold a mindset that your approval of me matters. Go ahead and use it from a human context. If my behavior is out of whack and you're calling me on it, I might want to listen to that. But when I go into the deep place of the sanctuary of my very being, no, I'm good with God. I may not be good with you, but guess what? God wins. God wins every time. My divine essence wins. Number 8, radical peace listens first. I'm asking you today to get okay with silence. Many of you told me, I have got to go see the Mr. Rogers movie. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And I was profoundly moved by the movie. But the one thing that was most profound was how something more profoundly beautiful and powerful came from every one of his interviews when he stopped talking. A child that was playing at the level of child's thoughts. And Mr. Rogers used the power of silence, and all of a sudden, what came out of the child's mouth was more profound than anything I've heard in the Unity Church. He got okay with silence. And his skill, my gosh, the guy on his show, let's say, hey, boys and girls, let's watch a turtle walk across the floor. How many of you are uncomfortable with those kinds of moments in your life? Let's watch a turtle walk across the floor. Let's watch what's unfolding here and have no need to fix it or to change it or to make it different, but just be in the inner place of silence as a great passionate or dispassionate witness. A turtle across the floor. Anger. Isn't that interesting? Upset. Or in your deep quiet time, anger. I'm watching a turtle cross the floor and just be silent. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, the Buddha said. I believe there's a reason for that. Listen first. Number 9, radical peace allows life to dance through your fingers and resist any need to hold, grasp, or possess it. Those of you who know Virgos, I am a Virgo through and through. True to my nature, I like to control things. I like to control things. And I just want to use a posture. Are you living life, letting life flow through your fingers at a beautiful dance like a willow tree in the wind going, it's beautiful and I'm part of it and it's magical and mystical and I'm dancing with it? Or do we do this? They did it my way. And the reality is, this posture will never get you to peace. You may get some things done. You may be a wonderful activist, but unless your hands look like this, your consciousness looks like this, your spirit looks like this, the peace that you were seeking is going to forever elude you. Dance and catch yourself. Don't beat yourself up when you catch yourself doing this. Go, oh, interesting. Let me play again. Let me put on a John Stringer song. That guy is the most fluid person I know. He lives Taoist principles. He is water. He is water in his music. He's water in his life. So keep on teaching, John. Radical peace. Here's a big one that sometimes has defined Unity North. We're, thank God, a lot better. Radical peace recognizes drama and takes the first step back. I look at my job. I spent some time with my job description and what I do and what I don't do here at Unity North. And I realize that a good portion of my job here is to just hold a sacred container. And then when drama starts to emerge, get everybody to do this. Take the breath. Breath is a portal to peace. Hope Notice is in this room somewhere. Oh my God, I learned that lesson from her in the board meetings during the toughest time of our life here. Suddenly, this was going on, and she was the first person that said, let's pray. Let's pray. Let's remember who we are. Blessed are the children of God, for they shall be the peacemakers. Blessed are those that behold the children of God in the room. So you can't ask for prayer in a room of like, I think you need to pray right now. That doesn't work. And Hope and I share that sometimes. We process that. Don't come from that place, but step back. Drama has no place. See that? I want you to live that. Copy that. Find a place to put it on your refrigerator. And when you feel drama start to enter the room, don't participate. Energies that you don't participate will die. Energies that you are feeding, and gosh, we love to be dramatic, don't we? We are New Thought metaphysical people, and we love our drama. It's time to stop it and just let the presence of God come forward. Running out of time. Radical peace recognizes drama. Number 12. Radical peace gets back up after the fall without the need to curse somebody, to blame somebody, or running to hide it. Did I miss 11? Take the first step back, recognize drama, and take a step back. Oh, number 10. I didn't learn to count. Number 10 was radical peace is less concerned with being right than building connection. You can be right or you can be happy. You can be right or you can find a relationship and connect. So, number 47. Radical peace realizes that I'm in a human skin, I'm in a human journey, I'm on an earthly journey, and I'm going to mess up. I'm going to screw up. How you react after that moment of mistake is vitally important to you having peace or not having peace, plain and simple. It's their fault. You're wrong, you're bad, you're throwing peace at somebody else. Radical peace doesn't need to hide it. Here I am, standing naked. I kind of screwed up here. And I think that's probably the biggest block to radical peace. We are so afraid to be fully human in front of each other. I'm the minister. I'm supposed to have it all together. I'm the one who's got it all going on, and people come to me for the answers. Oh. You know what? I'm a human being, and I make mistakes every single day. If you're not making mistakes every single day, you're not growing. You're not getting out of the comfort zone, and you're in that stagnant environment. And peace is an illusion. You know, I don't know about you, but I find it much easier to get along with people when I'm alone. I have so much more peace when you're not in my face. Is it peace or is it the illusion of peace that dissolves the minute it is tested? Thus, my original point, put your toe in the uncomfortable zone. We're going to have a conversation here. Let's talk about this. It's a little uncomfortable, but you are about peace as a byproduct of God, of the essence of God, is an expansive environment. It is growing. It is breathing. It is amplified every single moment. So every single moment, you get to just step out of that comfort zone a little bit. You don't turn 98 years old without being out of your comfort zone once in a while. And let me tell you, 98 years old, he and I butt heads, but my comfort zone is in challenging and sharing ideas with Harry Cohn and coming to a place of knowing, God, we belong to each other, even though he cheats at cribbage. Last one. Radical peace knows when to stop. I believe enough said. Say that. Radical, radical peace. Knows when to stop. My sound team is like, no! Do you know how much those cost? We're gonna move into a time of meditation. And there's something within you that says, I know when to stop. Something in your life is happening and you just need to take that breath. You need to stop. We have next weekend the art of our brothers and sisters from the Art of Living are giving your minister an opportunity to stop. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Happiness Project. Peace, happiness, joy, it's all interconnected and it finds its base in God. If you're interested at all, please go see them. There's a big banner downstairs that says happy-ish with a question mark. If you are peaceful-ish with a question mark, that might be something you want to invest some time and some money in. Please go see them downstairs. I'm looking forward to that 3-day weekend. But right now, what song do we have, Julie? Oh, perfect. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on earth. Peace for all the universe. But before you sing the words, make sure it's here. Because if you start out there, it's going to die. Start it here. Take a deep breath with me.